That's right. Shot for the Point gets it first. It's not a lawsuit. Nobody's getting sued. It's an order of protection. Hi, I'm Tommy C, and this is Shot from the Point News. Just leaked to me, I have both Chris Hansen and Daniel Salzbach, otherwise known as Onision, paperwork for their, what was reported earlier here as a lawsuit or a civil lawsuit, but turns out to be a restraining order. We can go over it right now if you look at it. So this is a good and a bad thing. First, the thing I feel for Mr. Salzbach here, although I don't think he's ever came near Onision's home, is this may be a roundabout way to get him to stop making videos. I don't know that this will be upheld, because making videos on somebody and harassing him, but he's going to betray it as harassment, which, you know, if this trend continues, this is a slippery slope. And we also have to talk about First Amendment rights when it comes to being able to criticize somebody. And if somebody can just get a restraining order on you and the judge can order you to stop making videos, it's pretty, I don't like that. But here it is, Kai and James Jackson, Daniel Salzbach positioning an order of protection for unlawful harassment and conduct checks. Alleged acts of unlawful harassment occurred in this judicial district. I am the victim of unlawful harassment committed by the respondent as described in the statement below. And let's see. I request the order of protection. I request the order of protection for unlawful harassment to be issued at restrained respondent attempt to contact me or the others. Restrain the respondent from making any attempts to follow me or would be Kai. Exclude the respondent from any place I may reside. The respondent does not know my address, and I wish my address to remain confidential. Restrain the respondent from entering and being within my residence. Other. I request this order remain effective longer than 1 year, because the respondent is likely to resume acts of unlawful harassment against me if the order expires in a year. So he's basically trying to make it permanent. Describe the acts of unlawful harassment, approximate dates beginning with the most recent act. You may include police responses. You must show more than one incident of unlawful harassment. The respondent has committed acts of unlawful harassment conduct as follows. The individual has been cyber stalking me. That's where this is dangerous. What's the difference? Is he sending me dirty emails? Is he constantly? No, he's criticizing your behavior and you're a public figure. And if you could just, it'd be interesting. Like a celebrity could get a something like this on a reporter. That's what he does for a living. So yeah, he's gonna have to tell the judge, like, I do videos on him. I've never went near his house. I don't know anything about him. I'm doing journalism, and he is a public figure with a blue check mark on Twitter. This is getting interesting to see where this goes, because this has potential to really blow up well beyond YouTube, because somebody could get an order of protection on me, and believe me, these YouTubers will try it. The first one that comes to my mind is Susie Liu. And we both live in the EU, and I'm sure she tries something like that, but I don't think they have stuff like that over here. But hey, you never know. Well, actually, she'll be out of the EU at the end of the month. So long, Susie. He has been stalking us for 10 years, and I believe it's likely he'll continue. I understand that submitting the petition, I place myself under the jurisdiction of the court and may be subject to corresponding an anti-harassment order. You know, he's going to have to drive. He needs a lawyer. Normally, with these things, you go in and the judge tells you to stay away from them, you sign them. But if you want to get around this, or what will happen is they'll give him the order of protection, right? And like, MrRepzion won't be able to go over there. Not that he ever did. And they'll allow him to make the videos, in which case I'm sure Mr. Salzbach, MrRepzion, will be happy with that. I certify or declare under penalty of perjury of laws of the state of Washington that foregoing is true and correct. Dated January 9th. It was almost a week ago. Petitioner Kai Jackson. Let's skip ahead to Chris Hansen's. And it's pretty much going to have the same check marks. The only interesting thing is, and we've removed this obviously, but Hansen's Onision's children have been put in this as people that are victims of his harassment. That's probably to juice it up a little bit. I have a feeling this ain't going to fly because, first of all, the judge is going to know he's a public figure right off the bat if Hansen's coming after him like this. I mean, I think Hansen will more than likely get around this. I could see a scenario where Repzion gets the restraining order and Hansen gets out of it. This is going to be something to follow. So most of the checks are very similar. Let's get to why exactly this restraining order was made. Chris Hansen showed up at my house, banged on my door while shouting through the door at my spouse and my child. My other child was at school. He brought 6 men with him who had their own cameras and pointed my family's home. Chris Hansen was making hateful videos about myself and my spouse since August, September 20th. Chris Hansen has been requested to stop stalking us and has persisted. He flew across the country from New York to bang on our door, yell at us with 6 additional men. You know, it's really funny because we played the call right here on Shot from the Point News, and you could hear the dog, but you couldn't hear Chris Hansen yelling, and it doesn't seem like his style or his personality. I'm thinking he's lied on a court document. Chris Hansen, I would think the 6 additional, we fear for our safety. Chris Hansen has been stalking for nearly half a year already. We would like to have peace for as long as possible. I understand by submitting this petition, I place myself under the jurisdiction of the court and may be subject to a corresponding anti-harassment order. I certify or declare under penalty of perjury under the laws of the state of Washington that the foregoing is true and correct. Okay, a couple of good things that are good news about this. Repzion is more than likely not going to have a big bill. He's probably going to have to pay for the lawyer to show that Onision's a public figure so he can continue making videos. That's where it gets tiny bit expensive. But I do think, and I will be reporting any kind of court. I will be, pushing a GoFundMe as long as it goes to an appropriate court cost, which I think it will. So what Repzion's worried about right now is I can't make videos anymore because he's called it cyber stalking. They also live in the same state of Washington. So the judge could say, yeah, stop cyber stalking. That means you can't make videos. It does get to a First Amendment. It does get to a First Amendment issue. Now, Hansen is a public figure, and so is Onision. And Hansen probably can afford, because this isn't very expensive, actually, we really should have saw this coming. Hansen probably could afford a legal team to take care of this and say, no, he just knocked on your door once. You need more than one incident. And these incidents on the internet is him reporting on you. I expect Hansen to get it dropped completely. Repzion is probably not a household name. Chris Hansen probably at one time was, and he's still he's definitely a reporting legend. Disadvantage for Hansen, he's an independent journalist now. So that's where I see this going. The other thing that's, one of the things that Onision's known for is, she claims your channel, he strikes your channel, you invite him to court, and he doesn't show up. This is not expensive, from what I understand. Filing a restraining order, it's not, you don't really need a lawyer. You just need to fill this thing out and file it. In most states. I don't know exactly what's going on here. Maybe it's a $50 cost of what's going to happen is you fill this, what happens is you fill this out, you go to court, you're probably thinking, did this happen to you? You fill this out, you go to court, they set a court date, the judge, it's really simple, you stand up, normally people don't go with lawyers, but you can, and say, do you accept this or don't you, what are you doing? And they say, don't stay within 100 feet, wherever. And that's what normally happens. Hansen's going to go about it a little different, and Repzion probably does need a lawyer, but we're not talking about something really super expensive here. So, from what I can see. So, look, if I'm tripping over my words, I'm quite excited. This becomes fascinating because if this flies, people could shut down journalism through a back window through restraining orders. Something tells me celebrities have tried this before and judges know how to handle this, but it is Washington State. And again, Repzion's not the household name. He's going to need a lawyer. Chris more than likely can afford one if he has not been in this position prior. You can't, I mean, I can't report on Onision. I can't do my job. Yeah, we'll see. Because this becomes a First Amendment issue. And I don't think knocking on your door once. It even stated, when I read before, it stated it has to be more than one incident. You must show more than one incident of unlawful harassment. More than one. There's only one. Unless you count the cyber stalking. I also wonder if the judge could even stop Chris Hansen from New York. He doesn't have jurisdiction in New York from cyber stalking. This is the problem. This is one of the big deals in Gamergate. All criticism becomes harassment. Then criticism becomes illegal. First and foremost, I'd like to thank a guy who I fight with a lot, but has always been very nice to me in DMs and help me with his information. His name is Derek King. Unfortunately, I can't find his Twitter no matter how hard I search, and I'll be shouting his Twitter out in a future update on Shot from the Point News. Derek King sent me this information, and I appreciate when people send me this information to help me out of this magnitude and really don't ask for very much in return. I hope you guys remember that for when I do get some, when I am able to shout him out, but I really do appreciate it. Me and this guy like clashed over Barley House and Face Banks. Clash, hit it hard, but I think he's a very good person, despite our disagreements, and that's nice to have. Sometimes I think you all hate me. Maybe you have a right to, but it's nice to know some of you don't.